Lawmakers are looking to expand on the current immigration crackdown that we're seeing take place. A brand new bill being introduced in the Senate would make sex crimes, child abuse, and domestic violence deportable offenses. The House already clearing that bill. Joining me now, I have Senator Marsha Blackburn, Republican from Tennessee, who introduced the bill. Senator, it's always good to have you. You know, my first thoughts when I was just reading the basics of this bill is that it's crazy you even need legislation for this. If you're a sexual predator, you should be gone, period.
Yes, this is what you call common sense.
Yes.
And the fact that Border Patrol they've actually supposedly vetted, or the system vetted, and people were allowed in this country. And then we found out on the backside that they had committed these horrific crimes. As you said, the sexual assault, the trafficking of children and women, the sex trafficking. 20% of all this trafficking goes directly into sex trafficking. And the fact that we know that the Biden administration eliminated fingerprinting and DNA testing of unaccompanied children, of these children that were with adults not related to them. That has driven up the trafficking numbers. There is nothing compassionate about what had happened at that border. Thank goodness President Donald Trump has that border under control at this point. And hopefully we can remove all of these sexual predators from the streets of our cities. And I was thrilled to hear this morning that the raids had started overnight in New York City.
And tell me, are you getting any pushback on this? Because we are living in a time post-election where I think more and more Democrats are becoming more accepting on some tough on border policies. Is anybody pushing back on this?
Of course, you're going to have some Democrats who push back on this. But as I continue to tell them, there is nothing compassionate about an open border policy, and there's nothing compassionate about all of these predators having been allowed into the United States.
Yeah, and what's their beef with it? When they tell you they're pushing back on it, what's their problem with it?
There are some people who are just for open borders. Now, there are many more Democrats who are listening, finally. I'm saying many of them learned something in November, and they're listening to their constituents, and they're supporting what we're trying to do with deportations. And there are others, Markie, they are never going to think that we should deport anybody. And of course, you and I know, and as we've discussed, these sexual predators, these gang members, these criminal illegal aliens have no business walking the streets of the United States of America. I think we should round them up. Let's send them to Guantanamo Bay. We hear that prison is basically empty down there.
See how they do
and
there.
I think a lot of these criminal gangs that we have designated for as foreign terrorist organizations and these sexual predators, we have bed space. Let's get these people off the streets.
Yeah, if you're a sexual abuser, I mean, game over. So where does this head next?
What we're going to do is continue to push the bill forward as we go forward this year. One of the things I think is so important to remember is that while President Trump is doing such a great job with his executive orders, pardon me, what we have to do is turn this into law so that it is in federal statute, and the next administration, or 2 or 3 or 4, some future administration has to enforce this law. We never want an open border policy in this country again.
Well, Senator, we're following it closely. Please keep us apprised as to its progress. Before I let you go, big week, again, of confirmation hearings. Some of the more controversial picks, Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr. We saw Pete Hegseth get confirmed by the skin of his teeth over the weekend. Any of these that you think has an uphill battle ahead of him?
We are looking forward to having Howard Lutnick before us today. And pardon me, then we're going to have Kash Patel and RFK Jr. in 2 of my committees tomorrow. I fully believe they are each going to be confirmed. To look forward to the great work they're going to do with President Trump and his administration.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.